Okie dokie. Hey, folks. Right. I'm just going to mute that. Hey, can you hear me, everyone? Hey, Robbie. So we've got Robbie, Stuart, Alexander, and I'm not sure, OMAD 2019. Right. Just making sure. Okay. Almost there. Right. I think this is working. For those on YouTube, could you just say hello or something, just so I can see if it's working? Ah, Adam, hello. Right. Okay, 12:01. I'm so sorry. I'm gone slightly over time, but we will crack on right now. Sorry, there's always much more to do than I always underestimate it. Right. So let's crack on. 12:01. I think I've worn the wrong attire today. I woke up really cold, so I put my onesie on. I've been sat here for about 10 minutes getting everything ready, and I'm now sweating like a pig. So I'm gonna have to have a shower after this. Right. Ooh. Okay, so what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. We're gonna start off watching a video, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna open up to a live sort of Q&A, etc. And the reason we're gonna watch this video is because I think it's massively underrated. In fact, I'm looking at it right now on YouTube. I put it out on the 28th of April, 2020, about a year ago, and it's only had 859 views. However, the things that I talk about in this video are the very things that I did to basically claw my way out of not poverty, but being broke. I see poor and broke as two different things. Broke, in my mindset, being broke is you just have temporary cash flow issues, whereas being poor is a mindset. And if you are poor, that is like you've sort of consigned yourself to the fact that, okay, I'm always going to be broke. So yeah, broke and poor, same things. Anyway, when I was broke about 10 years ago, I used these exact 10 steps to basically claw my way out of shit, and it works. And so I see a lot of people in the same path or journey, so to speak, and they're missing out on certain steps. So what we'll do is we will watch this video. I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll have a chat. Righty ho, so here you go. And it's only 7 minutes, so it won't be that long. Hopefully it helps. You've been taken hostage by money. You've let money control you. Time to break free from this kidnapper. Stop being a victim. Own your shit. Time to draw a line in the sand. Stop being a money slave and hatch a plan to turn money into your slave. There are 8 simple steps to nailing money and changing your life. Ready to do this? Sweet, let's go. 1. Access. Money is a crafty thing. Like a crafty enemy, we need to see where it's hiding. So, step 1. Grab a pen and paper and write down all the accounts your money, or lack of it, is hiding, along with your passwords. Okay, I'm just going to pause it there. So you guys can't hear the video. What if I turn this right up? Can hardly hear it. Okay. If I just start again, what about now? bondage by money. You've let money control you. Time to break free from this kidnapper. Stop being a victim. Own your shit. Time to draw a line in the sand. Stop being a money slave and hatch a plan to turn money into your slave. There are 8 simple steps to nailing money and changing your life. Ready to do this? Sweet, let's go. 1. Access. Money is a crafty thing. Like a crafty enemy, we need to see where it's hiding. So, step 1, grab a pen and paper and write down all the accounts your money, or lack of it, is hiding, along with your passwords. We need to be able to access everything. 2. Understanding. Now we know where it hides, we need to study the enemy and how it behaves. This is crucial before attacking any enemy. When does it leave your account? How many pound soldiers come and go? What days do they leave? Where does it go? Step 2. Draw up an itinerary of what it does. Know your enemy. 3. Analyzing. Now we know when and where money goes, we need to start cutting off its supply lines. If we can remove some of the places it goes to, we can keep more of it in the camp. Then we'll be able to eventually convert more of these money soldiers into our slaves. Step 3. Highlight some places the money goes to which you can quickly and aggressively cut. We need to reduce the money outflows by a minimum of 10%. Capturing. Now we know where it hides, how it behaves, and when and where it goes, it's time to start capturing it. But we don't want to round it all up and detain it in one place. We need to separate the enemy into 4 different holding cells. We can control it better that way. Step 4. Instead of having 1 money account, get 3 more. We need to have 4 money accounts / prison cells. Once you've done that, then storm into your enemy's cave, capture it, and distribute 10% into one account, 10% into another account, 10% into another, and 70% into another. Specializing. We now know everything about our enemy. We've captured and separated it. Now we need to start training it to do what we want, not the other way around. We're now going to set up some booby traps. That way, every month, when more money arrives, our traps will automatically activate and funnel the enemy into 4 different holding cells. Step 5. We will have 70% in the operating account. The bulk of your money workers will be here maintaining essential services, food, shelter, utilities, etc. 10% in the wealth account. These workers will be used to harvest and grow more workers for you. 10% will be in the personal development account. These workers will help increase our money intelligence so we can dominate even more money. And finally, 10% into the reward account. You've been a victim for so long, time to actually enjoy yourself a bit. Your mission with this account is to spend and waste every money worker that enters it every month. You deserve it. You're the boss after all. Growth. You're the new boss in town. Every month, you're now automatically capturing, separating, and specializing your money workers on autopilot. Feels great, right? Your empire is being maintained by the operating account, and the other accounts are growing slowly but steadily. You're running a tight ship. Now to focus on growing your money gang. In most cases, the money is coming from this weird invention called a job. There are many types of jobs out there, and our intelligence sources say it stands for just over broke, but it's unconfirmed. Either way, this job thing is sending money to us every month. Step 6. Secure and grow the existing job. We need to make sure that this job is secure and not going to stop sending us money. At the same time, we need to increase our value somehow to try and maybe get this job to send us more money each month. Again, our sources say that this job is ruled by a nasty tyrant, so it may be tricky. It may be easier to just source an additional job. That could be a quick fix. Extra drain on energy, but it will nicely bump up the monthly money. This is a fight, don't forget, so let's just suck it up, get our head down, and swing our arms relentlessly. Up-leveling. Your money empire is now progressing nicely, but it's tough. You're tired maintaining these 2 job things. Good thing is that your personal development account is now healthy, so you can start upskilling your knowledge. It's a bit like energy sources. People that use coal will get longer lasting fires than those using wood. Now you need to use this principle to work out ways to generate more efficient and high potential money sources. Intelligence says that there's this thing called business, which is the ultimate money source. Bit risky to pursue to begin with more effort upfront than 2 jobs, but eventually this business becomes far less risky than a job.
that delivers more money with less or little effort. Sounds interesting. Step 7. Use your personal development account to secure access to this knowledge depository called www.thewap.org to help guide us more with this business thing. Apparently, it will show us everything we need to know via a quick daily animated tuition video. It's worth giving it a go and seeing what it has to say. Implementation. This WAP thing has proven to be invaluable. It's done wonders for our mission against money. Not only has it helped us set up our own part-time online business, which eventually enabled us to get rid of those pesky low-money jobs, but we've now realised we were fighting the wrong enemy. Money wasn't the enemy in the first place. It was us. Money is an inanimate object, like a doorknob, and it was just us that was acting weirdly around it. Nonetheless, mission accomplished. We are no longer money slaves. Money now works for us, and we have higher sources of money coming in from business. Thanks, WAP. Wealth Action Plan. Why don't more people do this?
Cool. Right. So that's the video. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say these are the exact steps I've done over the years. And I thought I'd just pause it on this bit here. So yeah, as the video says, like you got to sort your life out before, like as in your personal finances out before you can really start doing things. Like, and one of the best things is money tracking. I can't remember if I put it in here. I guess money tracking comes under the understanding bit, you know, when and where does it go, etc. So with money tracking, what you do is you simply get a notepad out on your mobile phone, so it's always on you, and then for 30 days, literally write down every single thing that you buy. Okay, so it could be an Amazon purchase. Okay, blah, £10, and then next line, and then over the 30 days, do it. Even if you're spending, 30p for a Freddo in a shop, it doesn't 30p, bloody hell. It used to be 10p a Freddo. And then by the end of the month, you'll have this massive list of things that you've spent. And then you can have a little see of where it's going. Or if you wanted to be a bit better, you could just get a Revolut card, or I'm sure others are similar to that, and just do all your spending through one card. And that's what I've got. I've got Revolut, and I do all of my spending, everything on this Revolut, because the analytics on Revolut are really freaking good, because it separates everything from groceries, fun stuff, boring stuff, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I looked at my Revolut spending the other day, and I realized I'm absolutely bleeding money like an idiot. I'm spending about £2,000 a month on toys, which I don't need. I don't even realize it. I'm just buying anything that pops up on like a Facebook advert or just rubbish. And I just realized that the other day, remember when we spoke about doubling your business profit over a week, through a few little changes. In fact, I'll just get I'm just double checking it. We are sharing the screen. So for those that missed my capital to cash flow conversion thing, I was basically saying that if you had a 10% net margin business, so i.e. if you're doing say 20k a month sales, but you've got 18 grand a month in outgoings, and therefore you're making £2,000 a month profit, the easiest way to double your profit, your monthly profit, is not by doubling your sales, because what tends to happen is that you end up doubling your outgoings like that. So yes, you'll end up with double the profit, but it's pretty freaking hard and timely to double your sales like that. It just takes a lot of time. So the easiest way to do it is just reduce your outgoings by 11.11%. So for example, in this case, if you're still earning £20,000 a month and you reduce your outgoings by 11.11%, guess what? Your outgoings are now 16 grand. And then whoop-de-doo, you've now got, you basically doubled your profit, okay? So this is what we spoke about in depth on that previous live session. Now, one step further from this, you don't just stop there. So now you've doubled your profit from basically cutting some outgoings. What you can do is then do this, bump this up by 10%. So wait a minute, that is £2,000, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So, so now you've basically just bumping this up 10%. You've bumped, the outgoings down by 11.11%. So now you're earning £22,000 a month. Your outgoings are £16,000 a month, and whoop-de-doo, we've got 6K profit. So from just focusing on increasing your income by 10% and ballpark reducing your outgoings by 10%, you've basically uplifted your bottom line by 300%. Now, this is all for a 10% net margin business. Now, it's a little bit different if you got, say, a 20% net margin business. This whole example, if you have a 10% net margin, 20% net margin business, to get the same effect, you need to reduce your outgoings by 25%. But this is what we covered in that previous thing. But the thing I wanted to talk about is your personal life is pretty much, when you look at it, in most cases, a 10% net margin business. When you think about it, I must have consulted and chatted with tens of thousands of people over the last probably 10 years and going through their personal finances and stuff like that. And guess what? It's not too dissimilar. It's like, okay, I earn £2,000 a month, but my outgoings are 1,800 quid a month. And therefore I'm left with £200 per month in, actual spending money, i.e. 50 quid a week. I'm a bit out of touch these days, but is this roughly similar? Would you say this is an average, sort of outcome for someone? Or, hell, maybe not £2,000. It could be, 1,500 quid a month take home. And what is 10%, 150, and it could be something like 1,350 month outgoings. Like, I think from all the people I've spoken to in the past, your personal life, your personal life is basically a 10% net margin business. Now, let's say is this example here, you're earning £2,000 a month take home. In fact, what is £2,000 a month take home? That's probably like a 30K salary, isn't it? Sorry, if you just go to UK salary calculator, take home calculator, salary, I think it's 30, probably not far off. Take home, yeah, about £2,000 a month this is based on, pretty much the same, 2021, 2020. So if you're on a 30K salary, you're basically taking home 2K a month. Well, if you want to dramatically, so the reason I'm talking about this is that I came across a comment on Facebook, and it wasn't on my thread or anything. It was just a generic thread talking about money, whatever, or I'm skint, blah, blah, blah. And someone said, I really want to get into business, but I just need to win the lottery first, or I need a scratch card to come through, or I just need, whatever to come through in order to do this. And this just reminded me of this bloody lesson I spoke about. Well, let's say this person was in this scenario. All they needed to do is uplift their income by 10%, cut their outgoings by 11.11%, and then before you know it, they've got £600 per month spare. Well, so surely that extra 400 quid they could use into setting up a part-time business or doing something else, or like that video said, just start splitting up your accounts into your personal development account, operating account, blah blah blah. So and by the way, an extra 400 quid is a massive uplift for a lot of people. And I'm pretty sure everyone here watching this can reduce their personal outgoings by 10-11% per month. It is not much. How many pointless Netflix subscriptions are you on? I've been paying Disney whatever it is, 10 quid a month, whatever, for about 2 years now. We don't even use it. We've lost the freaking Amazon dongle thingy that is on. So it's something like, we've got loads of stuff like that. Hey ho. So that's, I guess, that's so before we go on to other stuff, because I'm sort of seeing some crypto questions here. Any questions on this video or around it? I'm going to give it 30 seconds for YouTube's catch up. Nothing in Zoom. And I'm guessing nothing in YouTube. Okay, let's move on. Cool. Evidently, it was either very boring or you've heard all this before. Right, let's go through the questions. So what's in the Zoom chat? Let's stop the share. Where is the Zoom chat? It's over here. Right. Okay, no questions in Zoom. Oh yeah, Mike. People also think they need to put lots of money in at the start and get investors, etc. Yeah, you don't. Mainly from watching programs like Dragon's Den. Yeah, I know. Far better to try and start small as a side hustle around your job and reinvest profits to grow. I completely agree. I see that Adam is watching this on YouTube. Adam, do you mind if I read out your post in the WAP group about all the sort of side hustle things that you're exploring? I know there's a lag on YouTube, but yeah, because I think that would really help people if I could read that out, because how you're approaching this is exactly spot on. But yeah, whilst that's YouTube's catching up, let's see what other questions you have. But yeah, Mike, I completely agree. Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, they get people thinking the wrong thing. You should only, like with business, you should only grow capital. You should only try and raise capital when you've done a few things. I think off the top of my head, I think it's probably about 4 things. So you should only get capital when you have systematized your business. You have now systematized it is 2 things. You can either do that in terms of tech and or staff. And if you have staff, you then really need to systematize your stuff over here. Like if you have staff, you need SOP, standard operating procedures, and stuff like that. Okay. So I've just remembered something. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about my business Bible. So, okay. The Biz Bible. I'm just putting this in my calendar because I think this will really help, especially for those with staff. And I don't have the Bible with me right now, but I'll have it for tomorrow. So yeah, so with staff, you need basically systems, training, all that sort of in place. Tech, have you automated as much as you can using Zapier and other stuff like that? Also, can you deploy it? So it's all very good. I mean, believe it or not, I've met loads of people who have raised, a couple $100,000, $250K for their new startup. They've done really well in the pitch. They spent 6 months, hobnobbing and sharing their pitch deck and doing PowerPoint presentations to investors, blah, blah, blah. They managed to raise the money. And guess what? They're like, oh, shit. We didn't actually think we'd get the money. We now got 250 grand burning a hole in the bank account. We don't know what to do with it. You'd be surprised. There's so many business owners that, they go out raising money, they don't know how to deploy their capital. And it just sits in their account. And so and do you have a client journey? Do you have have you really mapped out the user experience of your client journey, and therefore the sort of in brackets the marketing, I guess? Because if you have all that mapped out and you have the staff to facilitate it all, then you can really deploy the capital into marketing. And really, whenever you're raising capital, at least 80% of whatever you raise should go into marketing. You have to get your head over the thing that, we are not McDonald's or Vodafone or Virgin. We cannot and must not do brand advertising when you're a small startup or even a tiny biz, because you just don't have the money and the time to do that. So you need to do direct direct response marketing. So for every penny you put out there, you can see it coming back straight away. And we're doing this. I've done all this in the past, but we're doing this now with our new side hustle. With my wife and I, we're doing our little side project of My Fairy Pen Pal. So we've started off with pretty much bootstrapping it. And it's only now we're about to try and raise capital. And we're only going to raise about 100K. And we've basically done it bit by bit. But we'll talk about, in fact, what we'll do, I'll get my wife on one of these live sessions. I don't know whether we'll sit next to each other or she'll be in Zoom on another laptop in another room. But I'll get my wife and we'll talk about MFP, and you can hound her with MFP questions as well. I think that would probably be fun. So so that's when you should raise capital. Right, stop the share. Right, let's go through the questions. Oh yeah, Adam has replied, so I can read out his WAP. So he's in the WAP, and he made a really good post or comment last night, or I don't know, whenever it was. Let's just try and find it here. Sorry, before we do that, I need to share my screen. Share. Here we go. He's here somewhere. Well, I think he is. Adam, where are you? Let's scroll back up. If I just do a search for Adam, maybe it'll come up. No, wait a minute. This was literally last night I saw this post. It must be high up here. Right, just refresh the whole thing. One sec. Sorry, folks. So it's not Age of Empires. It's not this one. Is it in here? No. No, it's not that one. God damn it. Where is it? Adam, if you're watching, where the hell is your post gone? I literally saw it last night, I think. The post will have ideas in the title. Okay, let's look. Ideas. No. I think it's this one, isn't it? Feroz's. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so Feroz asked, hello all, currently trialing the WAP, great content in all the free videos. The only thing holding me back from subscribing is that I'm still agonizing over the idea. Am I the only one with this problem? Any tips for getting over this hurdle? Now, I made a whole video on this. So on the 16th of April, I literally addressed this question. However, Adam, 17 hours ago, wrote this. Some ideas I've executed from the WAP. 1, digital marketing consultancy. Got 3 clients for the next 6 months. Uses about, about 3 hours a week. 2, ops manual writing, template filling in. Did 1 job and got bored, so sacked it off. 3, content amplifier, chopping up testimonials into sound bites, etc. for Facebook ads. Have 2 clients. None of these are proper businesses and basically feed my crypto, lol. But they're all over 95% profit. Yeah, and that makes sense because he's basically just expending a bit of time for doing, stuff that other people don't want to do. And I'm about to get Adam to chop up a whole bunch of stuff for me to do his content amplifier stuff. So he's got another client there. What I want to push is something obscure what I want to push is something as obscure as the above are inherently limited to me, but they are cash flowing. I think the point is to just keep trying stuff and run them in parallel until you hit something sustainably profitable. I have my main gig as well, though, although that's becoming boring. Basically, everything is compared to crypto. Yeah, and then someone said, great tips. How do you find the clients for those? Literally just messaging people and asking if they'd like my help. Like, how simple does it have to, this is Adam is exempt, personifying, or he's just executing exactly what we say in the WAP. He's got his main gig, he's got his main income stream, and he's just trialing a whole bunch of stuff. And that's what business is. You simply do a whole bunch of stuff and see what picks up. And as he said, he's got clients in all of these basically, and he can't be asked to do the ops manual writing one because it's boring, and I completely agree. But everything works. Every business model out there works. It's just how you implement it. And so it's absolutely spot on. So that's that. Let's stop the share. Let's get back to the questions on Zoom. Stuart said, okay, let's open this all up now. We're just going to go everywhere. So Stuart said, where do you store Cardano? So you can either store it on the Daedalus wallet. Well, I've always had trouble with the Daedalus wallet. I don't know why, which is their official wallet. Or you can just stake it on Binance. I know you're storing crypto on an exchange, and there's the inherent risk with storing cryptos on an exchange, but you can stake it and get like between 5 and 10%, yield from Binance staking. So I'm just staking my Cardano on Binance at the moment. Tom Grange, Bitcoin down, Neo finally up. Are we in alt season fully now? Yes, we are, sir. Or can you expect Bitcoin to rally back? This being just a pullback. Yeah, Bitcoin will continue rallying, but I think alts will rally harder now. And you can see this by looking at the Bitcoin market share is plummeting, as in Bitcoin's market share. It's gone from like 70% down to 50%. So, Alexander, I have a salary of 1060 and 2 direct debits, 300 to crypto and 250 for savings. The rest is for other expenses. Amazing. So yeah, you're running a much higher profit margin lifestyle, so to speak, as in like you've done really well that you can swipe out just over half of your income into savings and crypto. So that's amazing. Most people, they don't have any spare spending, so that's epic. Robbie, what is market cap and why is it important? Crypto question. So market cap is simply in essence, the easiest way to think of market cap is the amount of money sloshing around a crypto or a stock or whatever. But the technical definition of it, if I can find my pen. So market cap equals circulating supply times price. So that's what the market cap is. So it's the amount of coins or tokens out there in existence circulating around in the public times the price. And that's what the market cap is. So for example, there are, let's see, how many people are here today? Okay, so quiet audience today. So we've got 19 people in Zoom and 16 people in YouTube. So we've got 35 people here in total. If I had 35 people, let's just say we all had a coin each. So we had 35 tokens, okay? So we all had Siam coin, which you can actually buy now. I'll talk about BitClout another day. But anyway, so let's say the 35 Siam coins, and the price is, I don't know, 100 quid each. I wish. So what this means, and so when you know this, and this, by the way, leads us into my little equation, which I call more patient Kryptonians. And it looks like this, MPC. So if you just remember more patients Kryptonians, you can then figure out anything you want. So if you wanted, as I said, if you wanted to work out what the market cap of something is, it's simply the price times circulating supply. Or if you wanted to find out what the always tells you. But yeah, so that's that. Let's stop the share. Go back to the questions. Questions. Yo, Siam from Sam. And every 2 to 3 years, you don't plan on parking it into a freaking deposit and fees and stamp duty and losing capital from that. So yeah, and Ellie really wants to buy a house right now, especially as we've made quite a nice tidy profit with crypto. She's like, just buy it. And I'm like, no. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, going back to your question. Yo, Simon, I know that you're against buying your own property. What do you think about businesses buying the commercial property that they use? I think that is a very smart move. If you have surplus cash flow or surplus capital in a business, a very smart move to be would potentially, to buy the commercial property that you're operating out of. Very smart move. And even better, if you wanted to be smarter with that, I would set up a SaaS. So self-administered savings scheme. So basically, it's the director pension, and then you could basically fund that tax-free, and then buy the property through your SaaS. There's some really cool things there. In fact, I have. I'm teeing up an interview with a really top, probably one of the UK's leading SaaS experts. So hopefully, I think he's tentatively said yes. So we will be able to pin him down and basically interrogate him with SaaS questions soon. I will do it on one of these 12 o'clock sessions. So that's that. OMAD 2019. Hello, are you still aiming your target profit in the Forex market for 1,000 pip range, or did you change your strategy after COVID and only aim for smaller targets like up to 200 pips? Yeah, I typically, wow, it's going back some time. I predominantly just use one main strategy these days called the Halo, which if you're on the trading test drive, you can check that out for free, obviously. And so typically, yeah, my profits tend to be in the low hundreds these days, but I still sort of average a 2 to 3 hour return. So if I'm, if I've got like a 50 pip stop, my returns will be 150 to 200 pips normally. In fact, I haven't even checked my trades today, so I have no idea what my trade's doing, but I'll check them later. So yeah, that's that. Robbie, is crypto not boring? You can buy it and then watch it go up or down. Sure, we keep buying the dips, but eventually you'll run out of money. Yeah, true, you will. Which is why it's great to have secondary income sources. The reason why, like, I can take bigger swings and what seems riskier swings is because I'm continually being replenished by different income streams, like businesses, etc. So I can swing. But if you have, let's say, a job and you have one income stream, and let's say you're maxed out and you've spent all the spare capital you have in crypto, you can't swing anymore because, yeah. So that's that. Oh, you keep losing me, apparently. Bloody internet. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Okay, cool. So that's that. Let's look at the questions on YouTube. Let's have a look. What do we have? Arthur has said, okay. Arthur Hakobian, sorry if I've said your name wrong. IBM AI Robotics Department Manager. Sweet. That's a cool job, mate. He said Bitcoin is going to fall to $16,000. Ethereum will drop to $300. Better buy Holochain because Holochain is the future, because Holochain is used in space industry. Okay, everyone has their opinion. Right. I'm seeing all of Adam's Age of Empires things. Yep, I get that. Lucian, just curious if you had time to check out Peculium. No, I really don't. Like, my least favorite questions are, what do you think that this crypto is going to go to in price and when, and also can you just check out a random new project? Honestly, there's like thousands of new projects starting up, and every new project is going to change the world supposedly when you read their website. And yeah, I just don't bother. Literally, I do not bother researching cryptos now until they get to sort of page 1 or page 2 on CoinMarketCap. And when they do, then I'll check it out, because then they, that the risk of them going bust or not, doing anything is dramatically, been, the risk is taken off the table largely if they're on page 1 or 2 of CoinMarketCap, because they've probably at least got $1 billion in market cap. So yeah, I'm well aware that you can get some ridiculous ROI by playing around with shitcoins and stuff, but the bulk of my capital, or my crypto capital, are pretty much all in projects that are on page 1 of CoinMarketCap. So to me, it's not a risk of, will this project die now? Because if you look at CoinMarketCap, in fact, let's have a look. The lowest market cap on CoinMarketCap, on page 1 that is $913 million. So when you have something which has a market cap of basically $1 billion, it's a big freaking project or entity or business, whatever. And so the likelihood of it going bust or zero is very low. I mean, if you look at Ether Classic, I mean, it's not on page 1 anymore. So ETC, so the first version of Ethereum, I mean, there's no devs working on that. That's pretty much a dead project. But it's got so much market cap, it's still sort of limping along. Where is ETC these days? Rank 36. So shit, it's still on page 1. Yeah, for sure. It's got a $4 billion market cap. It's just ridiculous. So yeah. Anyway, what are the questions? Teddy TV has said, about 3 years ago, I started a side hustle to get ahead. But 3 years down the line, my outgoings have caught up with my new earnings level. Yeah, big mistake. Now I have to grow more to try and dig out again. I completely hear you, Teddy. This is called Parkinson's Law. And Parkinson's Law is basically the law that nature abhors a vacuum. And so so in this case, if your income starts accelerating compared to your outgoings, that's effectively like a financial vacuum. And guess what? Your outgoings get sucked up. And I'm still reeling from Parkinson's Law myself. So I've done exactly your thing, to the point where, you know, if I cast my mind back to, I don't know, 10 years ago, when I was broke, I managed to shave off every spare penny to the point where my outgoings were like, I don't know, £300-400 a month. And literally all of that was the rent on this tiny bungalow that we had, where, you know, the bedroom door, you couldn't open the door properly because it hit the bed. In order for Ellie and I to get changed, one of us had to stand on top of the bed. There was like no room in the bedroom. It was like sleeping in a closet. The living room was the kitchen. The kitchen was the living room. It was, yeah. And then it was crazy. To put it this way, my living room now was bigger than the whole bungalow that I had 10 years ago. It's nuts, to the point where it's an absolute chore having to go to the kitchen now from the living room, because it takes like 30 seconds to walk there. That's a long time when you're like trying to get more ice cream from the freezer. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Parkinson's Law. So I suffered from it. So I went from being really good at my outgoings, and then when stuff got going, now my outgoings are like £7,000 a month. It's ridiculous. I don't need it to be £7,000 a month, but it is. And now when I analyze my outgoings, like, oh, I don't really want to cut that. And then I'm just being complacent, I guess. So if I was brutal, I'd probably get it down to probably £3,000 a month. But yeah, I like the nice things. Where is some delay here? So Sam Waterhouse, I would love to find out more about SAS to buy another commercial property. Cool. I'll ping that guy another message, try and firm up a date. Cal has asked, hey Simon, would you be looking to scale out of alt back into Bitcoin as Bitcoin dominance pivots upwards? No. Yes and no. So the thing is, we're in alt season right now, and due to the stock to flow model and also the logarithmic regression curve, I'm looking to sort of get out of crypto in January. But not anymore. But I think it will enter a cooling off period. Now, what I may do, I probably at that point I may take a whole bunch of profits to fiat and actually repatriate. And then stake it, or not stake it, but put it up for lending, and then just make the 16% or whatever. Bollocks, the internet has said unstable. Can you hear me now? For those on Zoom, what was the last thing you heard me say? Can you hear me? Or am I literally talking to myself here? Can you hear me now? Phew. Thank God for that. I literally lost all internet. So now I've had to revert to the Starlink internet. So, yeah, Starlink is still in beta phase. And so it will cut out more. But yeah, beforehand, I was on a different internet. So now I'm on Starlink. Cool. Hopefully people are still here on YouTube. What was the last thing you heard me say? Because I think I was talking to myself for about a minute. You guys are still here on Zoom, right? Yeah, okay. Going into fiat. Oh, yeah, Robbie, thank you. Yeah, so if I see a nice plummet coming in, you know, or a nice pullback, the stable coin will stay stable, and then I can then just flop back into Bitcoin or whatever I want, you know, or Ethereum or whatever it is. So that's the plan so far. So let's look at the chat box. Cal, yeah. So that's my plan. I do actually think Ethereum or Binance will have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin. So maybe not in this bull cycle, maybe the next bull cycle. But yeah, we will see. So yeah, I think that, yeah. Any other questions? Oh yeah. So Jamie said, will the recording cover everything? So I'm a massive fan of like eliminating surplus time requirements from me. And so the reason why I'm now streaming to YouTube is actually a time saving thing, because I'm now saving about 45 minutes a day. Because what normally happened whenever I, you know, done a Zoom and a Facebook Live session, I'd have to record the whole session on my, you know, with a Camtasia or whatever. And then after the session, I'd then have to quickly edit the video, just top and tail it and make sure the audio is all right. And then I'd have to produce that. That would then take probably 10, 15 minutes. And then I'd have to upload that video to YouTube and then come up with, you know, the thumbnail and all that sort of stuff. And that's 45 minutes work roughly. So now what I'm doing is I'm streaming this straight from from Zoom to YouTube. And the second I press end, like that's it. That the recording will be on my YouTube channel, and therefore I've saved 45 minutes. Now I guess I could, you know, outsource that whole caboodle to one of the guys in the office, but yeah, whatever. Sam has said, how do you personally withdraw profits from your individual businesses? Oh man, this is a good it's a good question because it's very hard. Before I read the rest of it, you basically just have to accept you're going to be taxed up the yin yang. That's basically the answer. Whatever money I pull out my businesses, just take the 30% hit on the chin or whatever it is for you. For example, if a business is making 6K profit and you wanted to split that 50-50 between yourself and the business, how do you withdraw 3K profits? A minimum salary and dividends? Yeah, at the moment, tax-wise, it's just, yeah, do it on dividends. Just make sure you don't get an overdrawn director's loan account. So what can happen, and I've fallen foul of having an overdrawn director's loan account. An ODLA, overdrawn director's loan account, is fine so long as your business is going all right. Okay, so let's say you've borrowed more money, than the business has made. So the way you get into an overdrawn director's loan account is, let's say you take dividends, divvies every month, but you may have a few bad months or whatever, and at the end of the year, you've actually taken more dividends than the company has made profit, and therefore it's classed as an ODLA, and you have to basically repay that back to the company within, I can't remember, something like 90 days within the time that you borrowed it, whatever. Otherwise, you're then charged taxes. I think it's like circa sort of 33%. I'm not an accountant because like it's an ever moving goal. Like you remember all the different thresholds and percentages, and then next year's budget it changes. And you're like, oh god, I've got to remember everything else. So yeah, I just leave all that to my accountant. So yeah, for most people, for 99% people listening here, it's have minimum salary and then the rest in dividends. However, if you're in the process of trying to buy a house, that's for you, because it is an absolute bitch going through mortgage applications and stuff like that when you a director taking minimum salary and then dividends, and a lot of them are like, oh well, you're basically earning nothing. Well, I am, but yeah, it's hard. And then so this is why a lot of biz owner friends that are buying business, they just put themselves on a big fat chunky salary because then it looks good for mortgage type stuff. But the problem is, if you end up putting yourself on a big fat salary, you'll be bleeding money in PAYE. It's ridiculous. So I sort of see, this is why you do need some good advice sometimes. So I'm not an accountant, and accounting is a massive gap in my brain. Honestly, I've spent time trying to learn it, videos, books. And every time I read it, it's like I'm reading Swahili. It just doesn't stay in my head. Whereas if you could give me a science magazine, I'll read it once and I'll remember everything that I've read. My brain just only remembers stuff that I'm interested in, and accounting, I'm really not. And so I made an error probably a year and a half ago where I thought, okay, I'm going to do things myself. I didn't want to bother my accountant or whatever. And I told my bookkeeper, or I basically just told them I'm going to give myself 150k salary, and because I just wanted, for lots of different reasons. So I bumped my salary up to 150k. I mean, I was already in the additional rate when you whatever, but then a few months into it, I realized I was paying like 10 grand a month in PAYE national insurance. I was like, holy shit. And so I just basically bled 30 grand to PAYE NI. And I was like, stop. So I went back to my normal salary, reduced the PAYE and PAYE, etc., and then just gone back to divvies. Hey ho. Just get an accountant. So Tom has said, why is buying property okay when via business but not personal? Surely opportunity cost is the same. So I think the caveat to that previous question, Tom, is if the business is operating out of a property, it is worth buying the property that your business is operating out of, simply because you're mitigating, eviction and all that sort of stuff, and you can then do whatever you want in the property, and you're not then paying rent. So you're then reducing your OPEX because you're not paying rent. But mind you, you've got a mortgage, I guess, so maybe that's offset. It's just handy having owning the business that your property is out of. But yeah, I agree. It's still opportunity cost. So you then have to weigh up that seesaw. It's like, okay, I could put money into buying the property that we're operating out of, or compared to marketing. That's the seesaw. It's like literally in business, the seesaw I'm always comparing everything to. If I'm thinking of buying something, I'm like, if I had to plow that into Facebook, what would win? And nearly Facebook marketing is always the winner. So I'm like, so if you look at all my outgoings and my businesses, it's nearly just Facebook. Rob, heads up and questions I'll ask at 2 p.m. No need to answer now. Okay. I don't need a heads up. I'll answer anything on the spot. Don't worry. Franco, I have a question. Can you on my mic? Okay, I will unmute you, but if it's obscene, I will just kick you. The reason being is that I've put this link out on Twitter as well, and every time I put a Zoom link out on Twitter, I get someone being obscene. So I'm hoping you're now unmuted, Franco. Franco?
Hija de puta!
There we go. How do I kick him? Remove. Damn it. I trusted you, Franco. He asked a question so nicely as well. I have a question. Can you? Yeah, anyway. Adam, I'm completely the same with accounting. I turn into a complete moron when it comes to dealing with it. Yeah, same. What would you recommend for business tax advice? My accountant tried to push his financial advisor, or me who is only interested in controlling my whole portfolio? No thanks. Yeah. So it's the same. Like I sometimes sit, I'm not a stupid person when it comes to like business and stuff, but there have been times I've sat down in front of my accountant and I go, right, talk to me. And he starts going blah blah, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm a 5-year-old in nursery. It doesn't understand anything. I was like, what did you just say? Anyway, so when it comes to accounting and stuff, it's like the way I do it is you have a full-time bookkeeper that knows your business inside out. You then have an accountant that does all the official stuff. Basically, the only official stuff you need for business is year-end returns and filing to Companies House. That's it. And then once every 2 years, I spend good money on just chatting to a tax advisor. So literally find someone who's shit hot. They'll probably charge 500 quid an hour, and just literally grill that person for 2 hours or an hour. And then the stuff you'll learn from that little grilling, you'll help, it will just basically put you on the right course. So you'll know exactly what to do over the next few years. I can't recommend any good ones. I've got mixed reviews so far on the experiences I've had. And I tend to go to people that I need like specifically. So part of me is I've got potential plans in setting up an international business or a business overseas, and therefore right now I'm sort of about to talk with an accountant who's familiar with overseas type stuff. So I tend to look at specific stuff. Adam, I tell my accountant to treat me like a 5-year-old. Yeah, same. I do that as well. I was like, imagine I'm a 5-year-old that barely understands English, and I'm also a 95-year-old grandma who doesn't understand business. And yeah, even then I still don't understand it. Right, Tom, get your tin hat on. If we go into lockdown again in the winter, what industry do you think this would be the last nail in the coffin for? Don't need my tin hat. It's an inevitability, Tom. It really is. I guess it's really going to kill a lot of cinemas. I think cinemas is screwed. I cannot see cinemas lasting. I mean, they were screwed before the first lockdowns. They're doubly screwed now. And especially now, Amazon Prime are now, showcasing new movies from your home. I personally can't wait to go back to the cinema. I love it because, like, we have small kids and we can't watch anything at night with the volume up because it's just going to wake the kids up. So we literally watch everything with subtitles on at low volume, and it sucks. I want to watch a film with loud volume for once. But yeah, I think a lot of small restaurants are going to get hurt. Probably, yeah, small restaurants, as in boutique restaurants and cinemas, and the high street is screwed. Like, I know we're sort of opened up for business again, but this is worse. So this weird doldrum period where, like, let's take a restaurant, you can eat outside but not inside and all that sort of bollocks, that, like, this is damaging. This hurts because now during lockdown we had at least some sort of government grants and stuff like that, which trickled things over and helped pay for the rent, etc. But now that we're opening up, like, businesses are having to pay more money, for staffing and, getting staff out of furlough, etc. And so it's what's happening is that revenue is barely ticking up, but outgoings are now gone way up. I know this from Float. Outgoings have shot up now that we're open, but revenue is nowhere near what it was pre-lockdown, and it's going to take a while to sort of spool up that revenue. So yeah, birth of the drive-in movies in the UK. Mind you, it's pretty cool actually. Ellie treated me on Friday, so normally, like, and she got grandma to look after the kids and do a movie night with the kids, and she basically took me out, and then we went swimming, and she stitched me up with whatever. But then afterwards, she pre-booked my favorite meal, which is Zach's. I love Zach's. The Moving Mountains burger, basically in Zach's, the diner. Every burger they have, you can substitute it with a Moving Mountains alternative because I'm pretty much a vegetarian. And so we got a takeaway from Zach's, and we sat and ate the takeaway whilst watching Netflix. Because in Tammy, our Tesla, with the big old screen. You can watch Netflix. So it's great. We're eating Zach's takeaway with really loud Netflix. Little things, I guess. Any other questions? It's basically an hour. I think we should call it a day. Pubs are inevitable. Percentage of people drinking alcohol has plummeted over the last decade. Yeah, I agree. However, there's demographics involved there. So Adam said an interesting thing here. Pubs are inevitable. Percentage of people drinking alcohol has plummeted over the last decade. And I agree with that. But I would also add a little caveat. So when you look at the biggest demographic on the planet, who are they? Millennials. Basically me. So people between the age of, I guess, 32 and 38, I would say is probably, you know, the main millennial demographic. We are the biggest demographic on the planet. Now, what was I doing 10 years ago? I was binge drinking and getting absolutely arse wasted, head over heel, every weekend. That's what I was doing. Weekend, suns out, suns out, booze out. You know, I'd literally, like all young people do, we'd, you know, have a house party. We'd buy shitloads of alcohol from Tesco. We'd create massive old mix of weird alcoholic punches. We get absolutely wasted. We then go out and drink even more and get wasted even more, and then end up having a cheeky kebab at 2 a.m. Like, that's what I was doing 10 years ago. But what are millennials all doing now? We're like 35 years old. We've got 2 young kids or more. We're boring. We're having to, you know, settle down properly, and we're busier with work and business and kids. We don't have time to get pissed anymore. So I think even without lockdown, yeah, alcohol consumption has plummeted because the biggest demographic on the planet are now responsible parents, like in general. And then I guess Gen Z, is it Gen Z is below us? What are they? Yeah, they're in their 20s. I guess they're not as big as millennials, and so they're probably not. Yeah. And also baby boomers, who are also big drinkers. Typically, they're now sort of average age of sort of 75 years old. So they're not, yeah. Most of the millenniums are woke. That's the problem. Yeah, I really hate woke culture these days. And people use the word woke in the wrong context. Like, I think the original, I probably need to check myself before I wreck myself, but what I thought woke, I think the original meaning of being woke is that you're aware of the plight that Black Americans will have with racism. I think that's what being woke is. You understand the travesty that Black Americans have faced with racism. That's what woke is. But I think the term woke is being applied to friggin' everything. Oh, I'm woke about beef now, or whatever. So I think the word is sort of transforming into, I guess, an enlightening. Yes, Gen Z, the entitled pansy generation, bloody snowflake. This is my stream, so I can say what I want. I'm not going to get kicked out. The world is full of snowflake entitled pansies, and I hate that culture. Literally. The reason when I interview people, like for jobs and stuff, I'm very anal with who I employ, and a lot of my questions, I'm not, I guess, is it discrimination? I guess, oh shit, I've got to be careful here. But yeah, I just don't like having pansies in my organizations. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to think of the demographic of my employees now, and they're all sort of over the age of 30. And guess what? The last 22-year-old I had was a pain in the ass. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to end it here, but I'm going to end it with one fascinating. Like, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. This is me not airing out my laundry, but I think it's probably everyone likes a little giggle. Have you all heard of Glassdoor? Glassdoor. You all heard of this? This is basically where employees review their jobs or bosses, whatever. If you type in the realistic trader, where is the realistic trader? Come on, companies, realistic trader. Annoyingly, I did. Yeah, so here we go. Realistic Trader, and one review from the last snowflake pansy that I employed. And I'm probably not acting in a deplorable manner right now, but this really did get my goat. And not much gets my goats these days. And so I didn't know about this until someone said, "Hey, Sam, have you seen that Glassdoor review on you?" And I was like, "No." So I read it. And so this was from my ex-videographer. So he gave me a 1-star, which is kind. So he worked with me for, I think, 7 months or something like that. Pros, cool experiences. Honestly, I can't think of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, he's, so to be fair, he had some points there. You know, we did have a breakdown of communications and all that sort of stuff. I think he's hinting on bullying or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, and I responded, and like, it's ridiculous. He was saying like no cool experiences and stuff like that. But in the 7 months he was with us, here we go. You had an all expenses paid skiing trip, which you refused to ski and engage with the group. We took you indoor electric go-karting, air rifle and clay pigeon shooting twice, indoor skydiving, Bear Grylls Adventureland, bowling, crazy golf, and all sorts of different fun activities. We had a FIFA league, as in on the PlayStation FIFA. We had Mario Kart N64 league. We had table football. Like, we did so many different things. You attended multiple training sessions, blah 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 blah, in the 7 months. Like, how many people get that many like experiences and stuff in like a 7-month period? And he had like, anyway, I'm getting my heckles are out. I need to shut up before I say something bad. So yeah, I just found that hilarious. Anyway, so if you want to giggle, read both two sides of the coin there, I guess. You heard my side of the coin. Yeah, let's end it there. I need to get some food, and then I've got a 2-hour live session at 2:00 for my traders for Trading Pub. So I'll see you at 2 for the traders here. And yeah, have a good one.